And the reason why black men are so susceptible to be manipulated by the ego is because we're the most oppressed men in America. We're not allowed to be men in the fullest sense of the word. So when you're given some power, when you're given some status, when you're given some notoriety, and on top of that, it's the white man giving it to you, my massa is validating me to wrap this filth to my community, I feel like I'm on top of the world. That's why we ain't got no business marrying these damn women. You don't do nobody parents like that. But guess what? Her mom eating well. Her dad eating well. Her cousins, her aunts, her uncles, all the Mexicans eating their ass off Kobe's estate. And they mad at me about some snow bunny crisis? Bullshit. Black queens forever, bunnies never. Well, one of the things we got to be very honest about, and that is the fact that the traditional black bourgeoisie is no longer relevant in this society because the white man cannot find college-educated middle-class Negroes who still hold sway over the minds of our youth. So up until this century, the black bourgeoisie was a college-educated, business-owning, well-placed token. You know, the Jessies and the Owls and the Cornel West and the Michael Eric Dyson, they were able to influence black people's behavior all the way down to the youth, right? That's no longer the case. So in order to control black people, you got to have a black bourgeoisie. So if it's not the college-educated black middle class anymore, who is it today? It's the entertainers and the athletes. I'm saying that to say that our celebrities do not belong to us and they are not part of the black community. They are corporate commodities. All of them are. Yeah. All of them are. And what they're going to do is they're going to push whatever they need pushed in the black community through the athletes and the entertainers. That's why Kamala Harris was running around with Fat Joe the other day, and I don't know the full context of their message because I didn't hear it, but I hope Fat Joe don't allow himself to be used as a ruse or stooge by Joe Biden and the Democratic National Convention to deliver votes on election day because they don't care about black folks. But if you notice, they're going after a lot of entertainers to parrot their talking points. They're teaming up with them. They're sitting down with them because they know these are the only people that black people listen to anymore. Black bourgeoisie, the traditional, is gone. Now the rappers and the athletes are the new black bourgeoisie. And the question now becomes, are we going to be man enough to call them the that we call Jesse and Al? Because they are cooning. When LeBron James and Floyd Mayweather stood up and said that we stand in solidarity, and I'm paraphrasing, we stand in solidarity with Israel after they bombed those innocent Palestinians, that was a clear message from LeBron and Floyd Mayweather that we stand with the European power structure that runs this planet. They made it crystal clear. And if I was talking to LeBron James, who I respect, I think he's a good father, but that was a very move to stand up like that, you know, on the side of an oppressor country. But LeBron, when that black man got shot almost 100 times, I believe his name was Jalen Walker, okay, in where's LeBron's hometown? Ohio? Akron. When Jalen Walker got shot almost 100 times in Akron, Ohio, about a year or two ago, he said, I want to pray for my city. So help me understand how you couldn't do nothing for Jalen Walker when he got pumped with 100 bullets in your city. You couldn't stand in solidarity with him against the police or his family against the police, but you will stand with Israel against the Palestinians. The black entertainer and athlete is the new house Negro. The question is, are we going to be man and woman enough to call them out for being the new?
I don't know nothing about Palestine, but drop a public statement. I get it. You're right. And they are. I completely agree, man. They are the new. I call Steve Harvey Uncle Tom. They call him Uncle Steve.
Charles Barkley. Candace Owens.
All of them, man.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Damn, Diesel.
Michael Wilbon. Clarence Thomas.
Cool.
And then people got mad at me when I said Deion Sanders should have never left Jackson State.
Yeah.
And then you see after he leaves Jackson State, one of the white legislators in Mississippi introduces a bill to shut down Jackson State and Alcorn State. Now you're going to tell me it was a coincidence that Deion being sent to Colorado wasn't part of a larger design? They had to get Deion out of Jackson State because they knew they was going to try to shut it down. And if Deion was still coaching at Jackson State, he would have had to stand up for Jackson State, you understand? So they said, get him out of there. And what did they do? The same thing they did with Judas. Offer him 30 dirty pieces of silver, and he ran his ass to an all-white school that has less than 2% black students and an all-white town that has less than 1% white people. And now they're trying to shut down Jackson State and Alcorn right now.
It's been a little quiet in Colorado with Deion, ain't it?
Nah, he doing his thing. He got top recruits and all that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, and this is where we as black men, we always make the mistake because we choose attention over power.
Yeah.
You see? And so Deion is doing it right now. Deion Sanders has made University of Colorado more money than they could ever pay him back for. They said that their freshman applications to be new students 5 times the amount they normally get. You understand?
I saw that.
So when he finally gets fired or retires, if you add up what he got out this deal and add up what they got out of him for this deal, it'll be ridiculously
Tip the scale.
and it'll tip the scale.
Yeah.
Ridiculously inequitable. But he's okay with it. You want to know why? Because number one, I'm being validated by white people. And number two, my ego is being fed. This is why the rappers always get pimped. They never read their contract. Why? Because when everybody loving me and I hear myself on the radio and all the girls chasing me down, I don't care about the business side.
Right.
My ego being fed. And the reason why black men are so susceptible to being manipulated by their ego is because we're the most oppressed men in America. We're not allowed to be men in the fullest sense of the word. So when you're given some power, when you're given some status, when you're given some notoriety, and on top of that, it's the white man giving it to you, my massa is validating me to rap this filth to my community, I feel like I'm on top of the world. But what we fail to realize as black athletes and entertainers, one day you will no longer be relevant. And the minute you're not, you end up like Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson made more money for the white man than any entertainer in history, and they still took his life. Prince wasn't far behind. They still took his life. Whitney Houston, highest selling female artist until she got on the drugs and Mariah took over. But How I Will Always Love You rendition, that's still the highest selling female song in history. And she's the only black artist ever to be certified diamond 3 times in a row. Not even Michael Jackson was certified diamond 3 times in a row. And they still killed Whitney. At the end of the day, you nothing but a commodity. When you no longer useful to you, they don't give a damn about you. Look what they did to Kobe Bryant.
Operating inside that white power structure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And these black folks, they get so good with the white folks, they think they in. You never in. You never in. But white people do a good job of making you think you're the exception to the rule. You're the one Negro we're going to let in until they no longer need you, Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
And now you sitting in jail because 50 ugly, crusty snow bunnies accused you of sexual assault 40, 50 years ago. What white woman you know waits 40 and 50 years to tell on a black man who sexually abused them? They going to the cops that same night. You don't wait 40 years because he didn't take advantage of them. But because him and Camille Cosby didn't want to let the white oil company drill under their house in Massachusetts, they decided to bankrupt him through the courts with the sexual allegations to eventually force him to sell the house so the oil company could get the oil. Bill Cosby went to jail for oil. R. Kelly in jail because he didn't want to give a certain music company his masters. Whitney Houston is dead because she was going to order an audit on her earnings. She wanted her publishing back and she wanted her masters back. Michael Jackson is dead because he didn't want to give the Beatles catalog back. Prince is dead because he didn't want to give his unpublished music to a certain music company. None of this is happening for the reason they tell you.
Yeah.
This is about power and control of resources. The greatest trick the devil.
The greatest
trick the devil ever pulled was what?
Yeah.
Convince the world he don't exist.
Yeah.
Greatest trick white supremacy ever pulled was convince black people it no longer exists.
Only a fool believe that, man.
Only a fool believe that.
Yeah.
So you think they killed Kobe?
I know they killed Kobe. You damn near a billionaire. You won't even throw Kobe mom and dad a mill. You feel just a mill. Just give him a mill. She won't even give it. They had to sell the ring, bro. That's why we ain't got no business marrying these damn women. You don't do nobody parents like that. But guess what? Her mom eating well. Her dad eating well. Her cousins, her aunts, her uncles, all the Mexicans eating their ass off Kobe's estate. And they mad at me about some snow bunny crisis. Bullshit. Black queens forever, bunnies never. To the day I die.
Talk that shit, man. Hey, you